Good morning, everyone. So we're starting this day with an inside gap after a day that was an inside day. Kind of more running in place, but we'll see which way it goes. But so gap and above, let's get the charts up here. There we go. You can see the spiders here at around 415. They were a little bit higher. Kind of unusual, just such a tight range after opening like that. But so let's line it up. 415-ish. I put this line over here, right where this cluster of opens and closes are. That day that was that last Thursday, things popped up like that right at the end of the day, which leaves this little island reversal kind of type of pattern here on the hourly chart, which is theoretically bullish, but island reversals are supposed to gap up into a void. So we'll see what it does here. And you can see it's just stalling there. We'll look at the futures, just get the location there. So when I look at SPX, I know where it is on the daily bar, since that doesn't move. And so if it pulls back, right, it's supposed to stop here, right, around 412-ish or so. If it comes down into that area, if it breaks below here with a bullish gap, it should break below the lows, unless we're really into a giant mess, of course. But you can see little trading range inside of a bigger trading range. Short answer is it's a good start to this pattern, but it's running in place. Now we just got to see if it can clear last Thursday's high. Ideally, it would go sideways for 20, 30 minutes and then break higher to move up into this void, which it does have. I'll scroll that over, scrunch it up a bit. So clearing that high, it doesn't have anything to stop it, which, short term, that's a positive, but it will run into a stiffer resistance area. The other positive is if it can clear that. Last week was several days of running in place. So while it didn't completely neutralize this extreme in the internals, it doesn't really have to. It doesn't, ideally it gets down to zero while it's going sideways like that, the breath does. But it doesn't have to. This was a strong move up. It was confirmed by the breath getting to this high. We reviewed that when it happened a week or so ago. And so this running in place, if it can clear it, creates a new support area. Of course, it's got to clear this high. And then when it does, the assumption is that it moves up to the next resistance area. So we'll see how that plays out. Yes, yep, I'm going to get to it, Jake. This is kind of like my routine of seeing where this gap is in relation to the daily chart, and then looking at the futures and then going to SPX. So futures doesn't look exactly the same because you don't get the gaps like you do on SPY, but just trading sideways after the move up, creating some support. It's got to clear the highs. Otherwise, it's just running in place, doing nothing. All right. We got the big weekly bar there. So far, it's just sideways there. Could be a 1, 2, 3. However, it's in a downtrend. And 50 down, under the 200, above the 20, kind of like caught in between places there. So we'll see how it goes. And SPX, I have written down. The downside should be a no-brainer. And I got written down 4060, which isn't perfect, but since it's up here, it should not go down there. Yeah, you could go 65. 65 should be fine. Qs running in place. YM running in place. Right. Bitcoin just been whipping back and forth. We'll see if it holds on to the gain. Crude oil moving up. Look like it should go all the way up, and that's kind of the fly in the bullish case. Does the market ignore that? Interest rates up. So it isn't a no-brainer day for sure. And transports, TF, moving up. So market starting off the day in a bullish mode. It's got resistance overhead, inside days. We'll have to see how it shakes out after the first few minutes, half hour, whatever. And it's got to clear Thursday's high. All right, guys. All right, to you, Dan.
Good morning. You caught me off guard there. So 15 minutes early. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to look at this morning. A number of the FANGs are in the news here. And as you know, the letter subscribers, we gave an unusually amount of quantity of trades in the two letters this weekend. And the only reason is because we found them all. So even though the markets were in this quandary of, hey, we're going to be bullish up, bearish down, you know, we'll see what triggers, and the majority of either now with the gap up, the majority of the bearish ones should not trigger. But I'll tell you a couple of these FANGs in the news. So Amazon had this pre-split run. You know, David, I regret not getting us a directional